Good morning, guys. I got this massive video for you guys. So today we're talking about Geras being a part of the Illuminati, if not being the head of the Illuminati. So I want you to pay attention to what he has on his waist. You see that eye? That is the all-seeing eye. That is the eye of Ra. The eye of Ra represents independence, destruction, violence, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which is the reason why I don't trust Geras and feel like he's going to turn on Liu Kang at some point, because he is the bridge between good and evil. He is a complete neutral. He does not represent a side. He represents a higher power. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up on your screen, which is some of my research as to what the Eye of Ra is, and then we'll continue. Now, the Eye of Ra, or Eye of Re, is a being in ancient Egyptian mythology that functions as a feminine counterpart to the sun god Ra and a violent force that subdues his enemies. The eye is an extension of Ra's power equated with the disk of the sun, but it is often behaves as an independent goddess. Now, before I touch on the other stuff, let me go ahead and we're gonna break that down real quick before we touch back on all the other stuff. So as you saw there, it said he represents violence, everything across the board. That's just where he at with it. Now, I always knew something was off about Geras. You know, he's tied to, remember that trailer with that red sun in the sky? Well, yeah. He is connected to that because that is connected to Damashi and is also connected to the rest of these Egyptian mythology that we are discussing here. You saw where it said he uses a violent force to subdue his enemies. The eye is an extension of his power, which is equated with the disk of the sun. So I wanted to repeat that part because that's that red disk sun that we seen up in the sky. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do the extra work and I'm gonna put that up on your screen so you can see. Now you see this red sun here that they're looking at, you see the characters looking at in this trailer. That red sun right there is related to Egyptian mythology. Now you gotta stay tuned for part 2 that's gonna drop at 4 o'clock. I got proof. I got identical smoking gun, undeniable proof that we're going to be getting a Egyptian mythology like story, and I already can figure out some of the parts that relate to the characters from, let's say, Li Liu Kang, and all the other people involved. So we're gonna have some fun, and I might even go live with you guys this Tuesday to discuss it live, and we'll just probably do it live if that's something you guys interested in. But let me pop this back up here on your screen. We can finish the reading. It said this goddess can be equated with several particular deities, including Hathor, Sekhmet, Basati, Rakhtwa, and Mort. The eye goddess acts as mother, sibling, consort, and daughter, which would be Cetrion, and that would be her mother, Chronica, daughter of the sun god. She is his partner in the creative cycle in which he begets the renewed form of himself that is born at dawn. That is related to Geras in his rebirth. The eye's violent aspect defends Ra against the agents of disorder that threatens his rule. So by the time Liu Kang begins to turn on Geras, that is going to protect him, which is the Eye of Ra. Now it said this dangerous aspect of the eye goddess is often represented by lioness or by the Urius or cobra, a symbol of protection and royal authority. So who is related to a lion? Li Mei. They said royal authority. Who was related to royal authority? Li Mei with the Sundu Police Department. Remember that? But now that role has been given to Tanya, and Li Mei is on a redemption arc at this point. Now it says the Eye of Ra is similar to the Eye of Horus, which represents many of the same concepts. The disastrous fur and rampage of the eye goddess and the effort of the gods to appease her are a prominent monolith in Egyptian mythology. It says the Eye of Ra was involved in many areas of ancient Egyptian religion, included in cults of the many goddesses who are equated with it. Its life-giving power was celebrated in temple rituals, and its dangerous aspect was invoked in the protection of pharaoh, of sacred places, and the ordinary people in their homes. Now, what sacred or sacred places are they referring to? Ding, ding, ding. They're talking about Liu Kang's Temple of Elements. Now, you remember where Liu Kang and Geras first met? They were in the Temple of Elements. That was his job, to guard, what you want to call it, to the hourglass is what it was called. That was his job, to guard the hourglass. So now that we went over that, I got something else I want to pop up on your screen that furthers the story. Now, I'm going to be continuing this in a part 2 that's going to drop at 4 p.m. Today. I have to do it in a part 2 because I need to get you guys 3 videos out. So this story is good enough to warrant a part 2. And that way I can start working on your 11:45 p.m. because I want to stay on schedule with you guys. So that's the reason I'm breaking it into part 1 and part 2, because I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone by having 2 videos instead of 1 and happen to do less work and still appease you guys. Now, as you see on your screen, the aspect of the eye goddess is often represented by a lioness or a Urus or a cobra. The lionesses would be Li Mei. I don't know who the Urus is, but I do know the cobra would be Shang Tsung, a symbol of protection and royalty, of royal authority. And as I mentioned before, that royal authority is definitely going to be Li Mei and Tanya. The Eye of Ra is similar to the Eye of Horus, which belongs to a different god, Horus, but shares many of the same concepts. The disastrous effects when the eye goddess loses control and the efforts of the gods to restore her to her being state in prominent morphos in Egyptian mythology. Now, who loses control? Melina loses controls, and the efforts of the gods to restore her are prominent. So she begins to lose control when she begins to turn into, or that Tarkat disease begins to take over. It makes her mentally ill. It makes her insane or whatever. So let's move on from the next part. The Eye of Ra is implicated in many areas of Egyptian religion, including the cults of many goddesses who equate themselves with it. Its life-giving power was celebrated in temple rituals, and its dangerous aspects were invoked in the protection of Pharaoh of sacred places. Now, the sacred places, like I said, that they're referring to is the Temple of Elements, which Geras is ordered to protect. So I know you guys probably like, why are you repeating yourself? No, I wanted to repeat it so you guys could be able to stay on track with the story and I'm not confusing you and throwing you off. So this Mortal Kombat story is going to be based off Greek mythology. So we're going to be definitely getting another god. It's probably going to be the sun god, and I'm excited to see. It's probably going to be 2 gods. So I have way much more information, but again, I'm kind of rushing to wrap this video up to get your 3 videos done. So I'm gonna ask you guys this question: would you like me to make a 1-hour documentary that's a little more detailed with clips and stuff? Sound off and let me know if that's something you want. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you guys straight up, Geras being a part of the Illuminati is a real thing in this game. He's literally wearing their symbol, and if you think about it, it makes sense, because guess what? Geras has been around for eons, right? He's the all-seeing eye. He works for the hourglass. The hourglass knows it all and sees it all. He is the higher enlightenment. He knows more than Liu Kang. He's lived longer than Liu Kang. So this is why I feel Geras is a possible threat. He is the bridge between good and evil. If Chronisha, aka Chronica, stepped from behind the curtain, this man will sock Liu Kang in the back of his head without a extra thought being given and drag his body over to Chronica, get on his knees and worship her like the good doggy he is. Now, I don't care what you say. Chronica is the mother of Geras because she created him. He is a time construct. Simple as that. So, hey, Liu Kang kills your mother. What better way to get revenge by bringing her back from the dead or finishing out Chronica's will or her mission? So it's a lot to unpack, especially when the game come out. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. This video was only intended to be 5 minutes long, but you guys lucked up and you got a 10-minute 8 a.m. video or whatever. Now tune in for part 2, because the part 2 will be related to Onaga and that red sun that we seen in the sky, because that is related to mythology, Greek mythology also. And I got smoking gun proof as that thing in the sky being Onaga will eventually end up being Damashi, basically. But we're going to get into that. Oh, and really quick, I just want to remind you that This is a highly educated and researched guest. There is no leak information. There's no source information, none of that stuff. This is all me. So I want to make sure that that's clear, so that way nobody gets misled in the comments or whatever the case is. There's no need to take anything with a grain of salt, because this is all predictions and speculations and a researched, educated guess. That's all that is. So again, I truly appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tonight for our 4 p.m. video. You do not want to miss that at all. And then we got our 11:45 video that's going to be coming out too, so stay tuned. And I also got a Reels video dropping for you guys about Tazia. For those of you who don't know who Tazia is, I'm going to be re-dropping a reel that I did to see how good it do before I deep dive into reel, and those reels will be your extra 3 videos a day that you're going to be getting, which is going to bring your total to 6. So allow me to get that together first, and hopefully those will be out in about a week. I know I said they'll be out this week, but I'm going to need just a little bit week longer, because I want to make sure it's perfected for you guys and not just slap something together. But again, if you want me to remake this video into a 1-hour documentary with clips and proof and all of that stuff, then let me know. If the video is fine just the way it is, then it is. But if you're watching the video for the first time, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on post notifications, as this is your brand new favorite and exclusive place for daily Mortal Kombat content. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Hit that like button.
About to go to frames. We outside in public, baby. Please pull up your friends. If they say it's up, then we ain't even shaking hands. Pull up with a beef, and now they wanna change the plans. Reason why they running, cause we shooting at they mans, yeah. Hey, and it's all part of the plan. Why she keep on calling, cause she know I'm high demand. So in love with me, I got her on command. She sucked me inside the coupe, I saying I'm your biggest fan. Yo, she pull up whenever I land. I made it to the top, so you can see I'm living grand. I'm in Cali.